In this video, I go to Guernsey to explore quaint seaside towns and abandoned German bunkers from World War II. The trip was completely unorganised as I had been planning to fly to the island of Alderney on this tiny plane here, but the flight was cancelled due to fog, so I had to spend a day in Guernsey instead. But I can tell you, it actually ended up being pretty enjoyable, so here's how to spend an adventurous day in Guernsey. I started off by getting a quick 20-minute bus from the airport to the capital of St. Peter Port. This small town of 20,000 people can be best described as a quaint British seaside town. Reminds me a lot of Cornwall too, actually. I was visiting at the end of November, so most of the tourist stuff was closed, but the high street was still bustling, and I decided to walk toward Castle Cornet and the Lighthouse. And the harbour here is really charming too. But now I'm in St. Peter Port. Check out the capital. It's quite nice. And the weather here is actually good. It's just Alderney where it's foggy. And it's closed. If you're going to Guernsey, definitely go during the summer because everywhere is closed at winter. It was pretty disappointing that the castle is closed for winter, but it looks like an interesting place. A bit further down from the castle is the harbour lighthouse. Not much to do here either, but the view is fantastic and there were a few people fishing. It's a nice place to visit if the weather's good and you fancy a bit of a walk, with the walkway stretching out about 1 kilometre from the sea. Now, if you're into history, you'll also find a few interesting museums about the German occupation during World War II. But they're also closed over winter, so I just wandered about for a bit. Too many stairs. Oh, great view up here. And maybe unsurprisingly, Guernsey doesn't set the world on fire when it comes to food. But I did find this restaurant called Chop House, which has quite a good lunch deal, £12.95 for a main and a drink. And for dessert, I got a slice of red velvet cake from Crêpe Maison, which again wasn't too overpriced and was hustling and bustling. After exhausting my options of things to do in St. Peter Port, I took the bus to the southeast corner of the island. As I saw on Google Maps, there were some abandoned bunkers open to explore. Seeing as all the actual museums are closed over winter, this seemed like the next best option. And let me tell you, I was in for a treat. And look, they've got blue post boxes. Walking down a nice country road, end of December, 15 degrees, pretty nice. Right on the edge of these sheer cliffs, we come to our first location, simply referred to as Bunker. Here they have a whole network of bunkers and trenches, mostly open for anyone to explore. And I also imagine one of the few places on British soil you can explore abandoned Nazi buildings.
These bushes are very spiky. Go. They seem to have blocked off the deeper stuff. I mean, how crazy is it that you can go to an island, an English island, just off the coast of the UK and find a bunch of German fortifications? I can't believe they leave this place open to the public. Might have a look in there in a moment. And then there's another fort there. And then you can just about see over there. There's one way in the distance. Yeah, this one's locked. Look at this. Don't think you can go in there though. How cool is that? Can actually go inside this one. Oh, but I'll need a torch. Oh. Very wet floor.
So apart from the fact that the floor was muddy and covered in litter, this place was very cool to explore.
Really?
It's a shame about all the litter, but I did think the graffiti was actually quite cool.
How cool is this? Ooh, we're going down. This might be a mistake. Ugh. Holy shit. Oh my god, even further. Do I go down any further? No. Might as well.
This place is pretty cool. Oh my god. Do I risk going up here? That's the question. Well, I haven't gone climbing in years, but hopefully this is where my practice pays off. Oh, this is risky. Oh my god. Just make sure everything's zipped up so it doesn't fall out of my pocket. Do not want that to happen. Christ. It's very slippery. Well, that was a failure. But anyway, if like me you grew up playing Call of Duty, this is pretty extreme. That's it. Now maybe I'll take a look at what's over there. So before coming here, all I really knew about Guernsey is that it's a great place for accountants and a bit of a tax haven. But who'd have thought there'd be so much history? Well, maybe not here, but other places. So much history on this island. And as you can tell, it's a little bit windy, but I will persevere. And that's the type of plane I'll be flying back to London on. Overall, Guernsey is a pretty interesting place to visit, especially if you're either very interested in history or like the laid-back English countryside life. I know technically Guernsey isn't part of England, but it really does feel like it. Anyway, that's about it for today's video. I just got the bus back to the airport after this. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button and subscribe. And for my next video, I'll be completely switching things up and travelling to Dubai, so stay tuned.